All of you? Okay. So, first thing that we have to discuss in this chapter, meaning of fiscal policy. Okay. Then we have to discuss the instruments of fiscal policy. There are 4 instruments of fiscal policy. First is your public revenue, second public expenditure, third public debt, or it is also called as public borrowing, and last is your deficit financing. Alright. And among these instruments, what we have to do inside this, in public revenue, see we have to do meaning of all. We have to do the meaning of public revenue, see meaning of public revenue, meaning of public expenditure, meaning of public borrowing, and meaning of deficit financing. Apart from this, in public revenue, we have to do the meaning and types of taxes, differences between direct and indirect taxes, then your progressive, regressive, digressive taxes, proportional tax. This is the meaning and diagrams we will study. And in public expenditure, importance, in public debt, redemption, and deficit financing, we just have to do the meaning. So students, let us start with the meaning of fiscal policy. Okay, with meaning of fiscal policy. What is fiscal policy that we have to discuss? See, in your book it is defined as the policy under which the government, first thing you should know, it is the policy. It is the policy, and whose policy is this? It is government's policy. This policy, this fiscal policy is formulated by the government of each country, under which the government uses. It is the policy under which the government uses instruments of taxation, public spending, and public borrowing to achieve various objectives of economic policy. Okay, so it is the policy under which the government uses various instruments like your public revenue that I have told you, instruments like public revenue, public spending means public expenditure, then public debt, and you can also include deficit financing in this, because it is also an important instrument of fiscal policy. And why this policy is formulated? To achieve some economic objectives. Okay, to achieve for achieving various objectives. Okay, government formulates this policy to achieve various objectives, and the study in which we study regarding the government's public revenue, public expenditure, public spending, and deficit financing, this branch of study in economics is called public finance. Okay, it is the study of income and expenditure of government. It is the study of income and expenditure of the public authorities. That is your public finance. At whatever levels we study, see, the government is at the center level also. The government is also at the state level, and government is also at the local level. If we talk about the central government, then it is NDA government. If we talk about the state government of Uttar Pradesh, then also it is BJP government. And if we talk about the local government, that means the municipal corporations. So irrespective of the level, चाहे हम सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को देखें, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को देखें, या लोकल गवर्नमेंट या लोकल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, लोकल बॉडीज को देखें, उनके रेवेन्यू और उनके एक्सपेंडिचर की स्टडी को, ओके, उनके इनकम और उनके एक्सपेंडिचर की स्टडी को वी कॉल इट एज पब्लिक फाइनेंस, एंड द पॉलिसी दैट दे फॉर्मुलेट टू अचीव वेरियस इकोनॉमिक ऑब्जेक्टिव्स बाय यूजिंग the methods, by using the instruments of public revenue, public expenditure, public debt, and deficit financing, is known as your fiscal policy. Is known as your fiscal policy. This word fiscal गवर्नमेंट ट्रेजरी, गवर्नमेंट का जो खजाना होता है, सरकारी खजाना जिसे हम बोलते हैं. ओके, सो इट इज derived from this word government treasury. Government has a treasury. Okay, सरकार का खजाना होता है, which is known as fisc. That is why whatever income comes into that treasury and whatever goes out from the treasury, उस पॉलिसी को हम बोलते हैं fiscal policy. Is the meaning clear to everyone? Is there any problem in understanding the meaning of fiscal policy in public finance, students? Students, is there any problem? Okay, I am assuming there is no problem. Then objectives of fiscal policy is given in your book. It is not in your course. Please don't do it. After this, we will just come on to various instruments and we will start with public revenue. I have told you there are 4 instruments. Now we will start with public revenue. See, wherever this word public comes in economics, okay, we are concerned with government. Okay, we are concerned with government. So what is public revenue? See, government also requires money for attaining various objectives, because there are many functions of the government, there are many responsibilities of the government. The government has to focus upon the citizens, the government has to focus upon the well-being, the education, the health, the skill, the development, the food of the citizens. Okay, the government has to spend in many things, in infrastructure, in telecommunication, in roads, lights, etc., etc., etc. So government does not has any tree of money. कोई पेड़ नहीं है गवर्नमेंट के पास पैसे का कि वो पैसा उसमें से नोचेगी और खर्च करेगी. जो गवर्नमेंट के पास पैसा होता है, that government gets from the public only through various sources. There are various tax sources and various non-tax sources through which the government gets the money. Okay, so whatever money the government is getting, okay, whatever income the government is getting from all the sources, whether it is a tax source or non-tax source, it is known as public revenue. Okay, tax sources means direct taxes like your income tax, wealth tax, corporation tax, etc., and indirect taxes like your GST, VAT, service tax, etc. So these are your tax sources. And what are non-tax sources? Government also earns through non-tax sources. Tax ना लगा के भी government कैसे earn करती? For example, government fine लेती है, चलान का जो पैसा होता है, कोई legal formalities का पैसा हम पे करते हैं. All right. गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स एंड कॉलेजेस हैं, उनकी जो फीस है, गवर्नमेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं, उनकी जो फीस जाती है, गवर्नमेंट के स्पोर्ट्स क्लब हैं, गवर्नमेंट के स्टेडियम्स हैं, ओके, मेट्रो है गवर्नमेंट की, उसमें जो पैसा जाता है, रेलवे गवर्नमेंट की चलती है, उसमें पैसा जाता है. सो ये सब नॉन टैक्स सोर्सेस है, तो जो गवर्नमेंट सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करती है पैसा लेके, चाहे वेदर इट इज ट्रांसपोर्टेशन सर्विस, हेल्थ सर्विस, बैंक सर्विस, एजुकेशन सर्विस, वो हमारे नॉन टैक्स सोर्सेज में आते हैं. तो गवर्नमेंट कैन अर्न थ्रू टैक्स सोर्सेज आल्सो एंड नॉन टैक्स सोर्सेज आल्सो. ऑलराइट स्टूडेंट्स, सो if the meaning of public revenue is asked, you can write it is the income of the government from all the sources, whether it is in tax source or which source, non tax source. Okay, then we'll come on to taxation. Okay, I have told you that public revenue can be collected through tax sources and non-tax sources. Now we are coming to tax first. Okay, what is a tax? We have to do the meaning of tax as it is written in your syllabus. So let us do the meaning of tax. It is very important for your exams. Meaning of tax. From this meaning of tax, we will take out the characteristics or features of tax also. Okay. So meaning of tax. See, tax is defined as a compulsory contribution. First thing, tax is a compulsory contribution from a person to the government. See, tax can be imposed upon a person and on a company also. So you can write it is a compulsory contribution from a person or company to the government. Okay, to whom the tax is paid ultimately to the government. So it is a compulsory contribution or compulsory payment made by a person or a company to the government to defray the expenses incurred in the common interest of all without reference to special benefits conferred. See, this definition is quite tricky. Okay, so I am telling a definition that you all can write, which is easy also. It's not written over here. Okay, I'll tell you in the next class. I'll tell you the meaning. It's in the another book. Okay, so it is a compulsory contribution made by a person or company to the government. Okay, without any expectation, of direct benefits. Without any expectation of direct benefit. Alright. So it is a compulsory payment. Why tax is said to be a compulsory payment? Because if anyone who fails to pay tax, legal action can be taken against that person or company. That is why it is known as the compulsory contribution. It is made by a person if it is imposed as a direct tax, income tax or wealth tax, it will be paid by a person, and if it is imposed on a company, then the GST or the service tax that company will pay. And to whom the tax is paid? Ultimately, the tax is paid to the government. The very important feature of tax is that it is made without any expectation of direct benefit. That means if I am paying tax, I cannot expect government to return me that tax, equal tax amount anyhow. ठीक है, ये हम ऐसे ये एक्सपेक्ट करके टैक्स कोई भी पे नहीं करता है कि इसका हमें इक्वल रिटर्न मिलेगा गवर्नमेंट से, बिकॉज दैट टैक्स इज यूज्ड फॉर द सोशल बेनिफिट, दैट टैक्स इज यूज्ड फॉर सोशल वेलफेयर. ओके, वो लोगों के वेलफेयर के लिए यूज होता है, उनके कल्याण के लिए यूज होता है. सो नो वन कैन एक्सपेक्ट एन इक्वल रिटर्न from any tax paid. That is why a major feature of tax is your no quid pro quo. Okay, no quid pro quo. What is the meaning of no quid pro quo? It means that tax is paid without the expectation of any direct return from the government. For example, if I have paid 10 lakh rupees as tax, then I cannot ask the government to give me the benefit of 10 lakh rupees directly. Those 10 lakh rupees, it is up to the government how they want to spend on the social welfare or social benefits. So, a tax is a no quid pro quo payment. All right. So we have discussed the meaning of tax. Then we have to come on to the types of taxes. Okay. First, we will discuss two general types, that is your direct tax and indirect tax. The difference between the two is very important. So I will give you the notes of this chapter. At least I think 4 to 5 differences I have made. I have written. So those differences are very important. And one thing more, only learn the meaning of direct tax, indirect tax, and their examples and differences. Do not learn the merits, demerits of direct and indirect tax. It is not in your course. Merits, demerits of direct and indirect tax is not in your course. Okay, students? So now coming on to direct and indirect tax. Direct tax and indirect tax. First of all, let us understand the crux. Okay, the major difference, the very major difference between the direct tax and indirect tax. See, direct tax is any tax which is paid by that person only on whom it is imposed. जिसके ऊपर ये टैक्स लगाया गया है, वही इस टैक्स को पे कर सकता है और वही पे करेगा. It cannot be shifted to any other person, on to any person. If I am being taxed by the government for my income, I cannot shift that tax to you. I cannot ask you to pay on my behalf. Okay, that is my responsibility. That is my obligation to pay that. That is my personal obligation to pay that tax. So direct tax is paid by that person only on whom it is imposed. Whereas an indirect tax is that tax which is imposed on some other person, but it is paid by, ultimately it is paid by the other person. It can be shifted. For example, your GST, your VAT. Okay, GST is the tax on the production or on the value addition of the company. Okay, likewise service tax and VAT are also same. These taxes are imposed on the company on their sales. Okay, whatever production they are doing, whatever value addition they are doing, it is taxed. But what the companies do, they add the value of that tax in the price of the product and they shift to the customers. Ultimately, it is us, it is the customers, the consumers, the final consumers who ultimately bear the burden of the tax. Alright, for example, if you purchase anything, okay, if you purchase anything, see behind it, see the price, it is written in the brackets, inclusive of all taxes. What does it mean? It means whatever taxes were imposed on that particular product, whether it was GST, sales tax, anything, the company has shifted that tax, the burden of that tax onto the customer or onto the consumer, and ultimately we pay that tax. Okay. You can see this in the sanitizer bottle. I don't know. It is. Although I can see it is written inclusive of all taxes. That means I have purchased of 125 rupees, and there is some tax also. Okay, some percentage of tax that I have paid with the price of this product. Okay, which has ultimately gone to this company, and they would have paid to the government. Alright, so an indirect tax can be shifted. It is that tax which is imposed on some other person and paid by some other person. So this is the major difference between direct and indirect tax. Okay, see there are two things, impact of tax and incidence of tax. Okay, impact of tax and incidence of tax. Impact of tax means you should know the meaning of impact and incidence of tax for better understanding of these two tax systems. Okay. Impact of tax means the person who on whom it is imposed. Impact of tax means the person on whom that particular tax is imposed. In the first instance, on whom that particular tax is imposed. And incidence means the money burden, who ultimately pays the money of that tax. So if we talk about direct tax, then the impact and the incidence both are on the same person. That means it is imposed on the one person and it is also paid by the same person. Whereas in indirect tax, impact and incidence are on different people. Impact of tax is on the company. It is imposed on the company in the first instance, but the company has shifted the burden to the customers. Ultimately, the money burden is borne by the customers. So, impact of tax is on the sellers or on the company, and the incidence of tax is on the buyers or on the consumers. So, in case of a direct tax, impact and incidence are on the same person. In case of an indirect tax, impact and incidence are on the different people. Direct tax cannot be shifted, indirect tax can be shifted. Alright, and you can write various examples of direct tax, income tax, wealth tax, corporation tax, okay, toll tax, road tax, etc. Indirect tax you can write VAT, GST, service tax, okay, etc. And one thing more you should know that many of the economists they are of the opinion that there is one way to differentiate between direct and indirect tax also. They say that direct tax is imposed on income and property of the person, whereas indirect tax is imposed on the consumption of the person or on the expenditure incurred. जब भी हम कुछ खर्च करते हैं उस पे जो टैक्स लगता है वो इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स होता है, और जब भी हमें हमारी कुछ गेन होता है, हमारी इनकम है या हमारी प्रॉपर्टी है, उस पे जो टैक्स लगता है वो हमारा डायरेक्ट टैक्स होता है. So this is also a minor difference that has been told by many economists, that direct tax is imposed on the income and property of a person, whereas indirect tax is imposed upon the expenditure of the person. ओके व्हाट जब हम खर्च करते हैं, जब हम ये प्रोडक्ट खरीदने गए, हमने कुछ खर्च किया ना, तब हमें टैक्स पे करना पड़ा. जब हम खर्च नहीं करेंगे किसी भी चीज पे तो हमें टैक्स ही नहीं पे करना पड़ेगा, इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स. ऑलराइट, सो these are the few, I think 4 to 5 differences have been made. So we have done